Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. And now to honor America, please join in the singing of our national anthem. Representing the three-time Stanley Cup champion New Jersey Devils, Arlette.
I feel like I'm at a game. Oh my gosh. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Happy Devils Sunday! I think I did it right. Did I do the intro right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think I got it.
I
think I got it.
The fade in was a little long, but better.
Yeah.
It's weird not being able to see it now.
Yeah. Well, it is episode 7. It is episode 7, right? We should have it. Yeah. So
we need an intern. We need an intern to keep track of this stuff.
Oh, I know. Well, it's season 1, episode 7 of the Let's Go Devils podcast. I'm your host, Sam Wu. Got Shorts Guy in studio today, and Beer Baron. Well, what happened to Beer Baron? Why isn't he here? Do you know why?
He correctly predicted our week this week.
I know. So for all the listeners that listened in last week, they would know. But the ones that didn't, we want to include you into our Let's Go Devils podcast. That we did the predictions of the week last week before we ended episode 6. I predicted a 4-0 Devils sweep of the week. Shorts Guy, you predicted, what is it, the aggregate 3-1?
Yeah, I just said 3-1.
3-1. And you know what I did? I'm sorry, not I did. What Beer Baron did was a 3-0-1 prediction, which is what happened to the New Jersey Devils this past week. A 3-0-1 record beating Minnesota. They lost to Boston in a shootout. Beating Vancouver and Detroit.
Yeah, losing to Boston and giving them exactly what I said not for them to do, and they go and do it. At least it was 1 point, not 2, but still, interconference games that you don't want to, give up points.
You're breaking up, Shorts Guy. You're breaking up. I don't know what you're doing on your end, but stop doing it.
I'm not doing anything, man.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, so the Devils are 3-0-1 this past week. Great win yesterday against the Detroit Red Wings, 4-3 in overtime. Now, they did blow the lead a little bit there, but they did find a way to win, and that's what's most important right now. Overtime win over Minnesota Wild, shootout loss against Boston, as I said before. Great win over the surprising Vancouver Canucks. Corey Schneider's old team. Taylor Hall, 1 goal, 2 assists against Vancouver, and comes back again, 1 goal and 1 assist against Detroit. Ben Gibbons, I believe, with the game-winning goal.
Yeah, the game-winning goal. And we almost lost that in overtime, too. We almost lost that one. So I was real happy to see that. Going down, having that 3 and then giving it up almost right away was awful. However, they have they've got it in the tank to come back from those games. They're going to be the heart attack kids. I'm like,
oh yeah, and that's what we're going to probably expect all season long. I mean, this Devils team has surprised the entire league. Nobody would have expected them to have a winning record, but back in the lead in the Metropolitan Division, depending upon what happens today, I know the BJs, the Columbus Blue Jackets, keep on winning, but who would ever thought about the New Jersey Devils? And I talked to a Ranger fan yesterday. Now, let me tell you a little backstory about this Ranger fan. I went on Facebook Marketplace. I looked at an iMac. Okay. I took a chance. He lived close by. I took a chance. Now, I didn't know he was a New York Rangers fan, but here I am wearing this Devils hat.
Yeah.
Everybody in Facebook Live and Periscope, this is the Devils hat I wear. Pretty nice CCM hat. So I go to I go down about 15 minutes away from my house. He said, go to the back door. I was like, all right, a little creepy, whatever.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, being a little vigilant. As soon as he opens the door, I look at him and he looks at me. And I was like, yeah, this isn't going to work. And he said, well, at least I'm going to take your money. I can let a Devils fan in. Cool guy. He was a really cool guy, all joking aside. But one thing he did ask me, and he wanted my honest opinion, are the Devils for real? That's what he wanted to know. And that is the question of the day on the Let's Go Devils podcast. Are the Devils for real? I mean, we're about, 20, 25 games in. We're at the quarter mark of this young season.
Yeah.
Are the Devils for real? Let's ask everybody on Facebook Live and Periscope right now. People on Devils Army blog, people on Let's Go Devils group, chime in right now. Are the Devils for real? Do you think that they can sustain this? And as what we said before on the podcast, this is not last year's Devils. This is a different team, different attitude, a chip on the shoulder, some new blood, a lot of new blood. First overall pick in Nico Hischier. Are the Devils for real? I think so. What do you think, Shorts Guy?
I'm going to say yes. However, for them to sustain it for the rest of the season, they got to do 2 things. One, make sure they manage their players so that they can keep going at this pace that they're going, because it is a really fast-paced Devils team now. So you got to manage them, manage their practice time, manage their on-ice time in a game, and keep them healthy. Also, if they're going to keep going the way that they're going, they're still there from last year, letting up late goals, letting other teams back into the game late in the game, and going into overtime. Because think about it, it may not seem like much here. It may not seem like much at right now, but 5 extra minutes here and 5 extra minutes there, 3-on-3 hockey, and then a shootout. You have a good number of overtime games. That's 5 extra minutes times however many games. That's more skating, more on ice time, and you got to worry about the possibility of more injuries too. So I'm going to say yes, but they do need to make corrections.
Well, yeah. And John Hines is looking like a genius right now. He's pushing all the right buttons. He's got the right players out there. He knows when to bench them. This guy last year, I mean, he was on the hot seat with a lot of fans, but Ray Shero's sticking with them, and now we know why. And it's taking it's really taking from the other Devils team in basketball, the 76ers. Trust the process. trust Ray Shero. The guy knows what he's doing. And it's been 5 years since the Devils have made it to the playoffs. And really, it's 3. If you think about it, they went on this little stretch run, trying to, just a little bit more oomph from that 2012 team. Remember Michael Ryder? Remember these names? Yeah. Well, they're all gone. Mike Camilleri, gone. All these guys are gone. Damian Brunner, gone. They're all gone. Now we have Gibbons, Bratt, Heischer, Butcher. Yeah. We got a guy named Will Butcher. I mean, how cool is that? But
it's a whole new team.
It's a whole new team. And go ahead.
No, it's just it's a whole new team, and they're all young. That's the best part.
They're all young.
The last time we had a core of young players, we were great for years.
Let's put it this way. I had high hopes for Blandisi. This guy is the outside looking in. That's how much talent that's on this squad. It is very scary. And, and you have some newcomers, on the team like Hayes. I mean, the guy can't even get a roster spot. So he's in the NHL, but it tells you how loaded the Devils are going into the 2018 draft with the most draft picks. And I was the first guy that was complaining of the 2017 draft. Now you're bad. You couldn't wait for Connor McDavid to be in the draft, right?
Austin Matthews. We had this conversation back in June.
Yeah,
it was looking like a weak draft year, and then we got the first overall pick, and I'm so glad they went with Heischer. He just seems to be. I mean, he scored a goal last night, and his goal last night was real pretty. He seems to be the overall. He was the best overall pick, and not only is he skilled, but he's fitting with this core. And I said it before, but last time we had a young core like this, we were good for a long time.
Oh yeah. And right now, as it stands, the Devils are 14-5-4. That's above an NHL 500 because I count that 4 as real losses in my book.
Yeah.
So 14-9, but 14-5-4. They're rolling. Obviously, they have problems on defense still. Their offense, they're a comeback team. I hope this team can make it to the playoffs, and I want to see what kind of damage that they do in the playoffs because it seems like this is a heart attack team, whether they're down 4-1 to the big bad Chicago Blackhawks and come back and win. And even last night, against Detroit, you're thinking, but they find ways to win. And that's important. And that is going to progress as the season goes along. That's the theme right now. Winning. But I will say, Shorts Guy, and this is why I'm glad we're doing the podcast together today, because you are a goalie expert. Why don't you rattle off a little bit of your credentials? You played in high school, right? Go in your Al Bundy moment. You have credentials on that?
Yeah, no, I played in high school and I played at Sacred Heart University, and I've been a goalie coach at the high school level for the last 13 years, and I did a little bit of semi-pro roller hockey. But we had this conversation before we got on, and actually looked up the stats from last year to this year. You made a really good point. Why don't you tell listeners what that point was that you made about Cory Schneider after watching him play the other night versus last season in his rebounds?
So I upgraded my seats against Vancouver the other night, thinking, all right, holidays. So I got to see Cory Schneider twice, first period and third period, because we were sitting on the ledge, just looking down, and I was watching him. The biggest difference I'm thinking from this year and last year, number one, rebound control. A lot better this year than last year. Still needs to work on it, but the rebound control, he is gobbling up the puck. I mean, he's literally gobbling up the puck, one shot, one and done. That's it. No rebounds, no juicy rebounds in front of the net for the other team. Like, he has control of that puck, and he's square to the puck, and his positioning is superb from what I'm seeing compared to last year. He's not flopping like a fish, and he's coming up with big saves, and you could tell his confidence. Corey Schneider, he is getting better and better as the season progresses. I mean, yes, he has some moments where he's giving up soft goals. Every goaltender is like that. Not every goaltender can be like Martin Brodeur, but he is getting better. And I also think Kincaid has improved from last year. I'm going to put in your corner, Shorts guy. Why is that? Why the difference between this year and last year? Aside, everybody talks about the team. Why is that?
Well, confidence is a huge thing, and it's especially now that we're winning. Winning and confidence go hand in hand. I was looking at the stats last season. Corey actually didn't finish too bad in personal stats. Finished 4th overall with a goals against average of 2.15, and 4th overall with a save percentage of 0.924. This season so far. Now he's only 17 games played so far. Last year he was 60 games played total. So right now he's at a 2.76 goals against, which is 19th currently, and a save percentage of 0.918, which is 16th currently. Now we can definitely attribute the higher stat because there have been a couple games that have gotten out of hand. But the confidence in winning, and if you've got confidence going for you, you'll always be in the right spot, and you'll make saves without even trying. When you're lacking confidence, it'll feel like everything's going through you or you're just missing it. But once you got that confidence and you're rolling with some wins, you're just always in the right spot, and those bounces are going your way. So that's definitely, a part of the whole scheme of things here. He's only I didn't look up how many games he's played so far this season. That's the one stat I forgot to look up. Kincaid wasn't too bad last season with 26 games played, 2.64 and a 0.916. This year he's lower, and I'm going to attribute that game against Chicago for the 3.04 goals against, 0.906 for a save percentage this year. So they're both kind of off the mark yet, but it's still early. And that was, and last year we were losing late in the game. So, tight games we were losing. But knowing that offense is there is always a big help as a goaltender. Knowing that you don't have to do everything in order to get a win is going to help you out a lot. Knowing that you can, possibly, not that you want to make a mistake, but that if you do make a mistake, the offense is there to help and correct it. Versus last year when, the offense really wasn't there. So every mistake made by Corey, letting one in late, or letting any in during the game, was compounded by the fact that they couldn't put it in the other net, and they weren't winning. I still think the big thing is that defense in front of them, they're letting players get through, they're leaving players unmarked, and when when you have an unmarked player that's standing on the top of your crease, you're going to have a hard time getting that guy. It's that's not your assignment to cover that guy. Your assignment is to stop the puck as the goaltender. So if your defenseman is going to leave a guy wide open to be able to basically do a spinorama in front of you, it's your job just got a lot tougher. And as the last guy in the line of defense, it all looks like it's all your fault, and sometimes goalies get some unneeded criticism.
Yeah.
But it's definitely, it's got a lot to do with the wins, and it's got a lot to do with confidence too.
Yeah, I would totally agree. But there's also one other thing, Shorts guy, that I think that's being overlooked. I'm surprised nobody's talking about this. About the Devils. Everybody's talking about the young guns, the new exciting offense, the speed. We've talked about that. But just remember around July 10th, 2017, when the Devils named Roland Melanson as the new goalie coach, and what that would mean for the New Jersey Devils. Out with the Lou regime, in with the Ray Shero people. Okay, now he replaced Chris Terreri, and Chris Terreri, longtime New Jersey Devil as a player, won a cup, maybe two, I don't remember, but you know, it's a different voice than what Corey Schneider's been hearing for the last few years. But he was Corey Schneider's goaltending coach in Vancouver when he was having success, and some of the stats, even back then, that Schneider did not post a goals against average above 2.23 or a save percentage below 0.927 when he was his goalie coach. And you see that right now, that Schneider is very comfortable in net. He's gobbling up those rebounds and helping out his defense, as the defense is still a little pretty porous still, which they need to work on. But to replace Chris Terreri, and Chris Terreri went to the New York Islanders. And did you know this? This is a little off topic, but did you know that Chris Terreri was the emergency backup goalie for the Devils, the third string, in case two injuries happened in a game?
I'm not surprised. That's probably why they were looking to having those open tryouts over about a month and a half ago.
Actually, let's take a little pause here. What? Go ahead. No, I was just saying those e-bugs. That's what they call it, emergency backup goalies. Those e-bugs. Now, I didn't qualify because of the age restriction, but there was some kind of qualifications there.
Yes,
but you, on the other hand, did qualify. Unfortunately, you had some other prior commitment, because to me, if I was John Hines, I would have you as the e-bug. Who is the e-bug?
Actually, I don't know. I don't know if they ever announced that. Once I knew I couldn't do it, I kind of put it out of my mind until you just brought it up. It actually, if that would have come about now that I'm actually back into the swing of playing in net, which I wasn't at the time. Now I would feel a lot more confident if I were to go do that. Would have been fun. You had to be available for the game. Just in case, just on the off chance that they had to call you up.
Yep.
It really would have been a cool experience, and I'm a little disappointed to go, but I also knew that I already had a prior commitment, and there's no changing that. It definitely would have been a cool experience.
Well, yeah, it would have been a cool experience. Now, I talked to Justin Goldman off air. He is the goalieguild.com. He specializes in all goalie stuff, like how to play the position, where to get the equipment, whatever. He's a consultant for goalies. Now, he's out in Colorado, and he became an e-bug this year. The Colorado Avalanche, now he does a lot of work for them, asked him, give us 6 to 8 people, 12 people that you think that fit well as an e-bug. Justin became an e-bug, but they split it into 6 games per person where they have to be at the game, and they are the designated e-bug, the emergency backup goalie, for that game. And that's pretty cool. I mean, you get the whole community involved. I mean, I met Eric Samborski. He did it twice. One for the Chicago Blackhawks, playing against his hometown Philadelphia Flyers, and one for the Flyers. That was when that game against the New Jersey Devils on April 1st last season. Remember when the Flyers goalie Neuvert collapsed? He was dehydrated or whatever. And then they brought Eric Samborski in, and then they tried to play him. But the NHL rules regulates that no, the second goalie has to be injured before the third goalie could play. I believe it was that game. And but yeah, I mean, that's pretty interesting. But getting back to the topic at hand, I think Roley, the goalie coach, I think he's made a big difference, and I don't think anybody's talking about it. I mean, you need to have some good goaltending to keep a 14-5-4 record, right?
Yeah, agreed. And then it seems like he already knows Corey, and anyone who's played the game and knows a goalie, and I'll be the first to admit I fall into this category. Goalies are really weird, and they're always a little off. And a good goalie coach will know exactly how to deal with his goalies or her goalies. They'll know their mannerisms. They'll know when to push them. They'll know when to hold back. When you have to help them mentally instead of just physically. So he must know Corey, and Corey must trust him. Something that he may not have had with Terreri.
Yeah.
It's one of those unique positions where every goalie that I know is weird or odd or all that combined.
Well, they're all a bunch of characters, right? I mean, and they're all lovable. They're all lovable. Look at Glenn Chico Resch. I mean, everybody loves him. Do I remember him playing? Not really, right?
No, definitely.
Corey Schwab. Remember Corey Schwab was, racing down, skating down, beating up the other goalie, right?
Yeah, beating up Tommy Soderstrom.
Yeah. And then remember Ron Hextall when he played?
Oh, man, he was nuts too.
He was nuts. Patrick Waugh's nuts. I mean, that guy's intense. He was so intense that when Marty Brodeur broke his record, he actually said, "Hey, don't take it personally, Marty. I was actually just in the zone, trying to, stay focused. So if I ignored you in Nagano and I made you feel, like a little itty bitty goal, even though you're better than me, I hope it all is forgiven." And then that meant a lot to Marty at the 552 game, right? So I mean, goalies, I wouldn't say they're weird. I think they're just lovable characters.
Yeah, they are. Think of the goalies that you and I played with.
Yeah. Well, and actually, I'll tell you, and the people that are listening in and watching in at Devils Army blog on the Twitter account or the Let's Go Devils Facebook page or the group and on the Periscope as well. One goalie that I've met, and I would have never thought, I would not only get to meet a legend. Now, speaking hockey, as a hockey fan, Bernie Parent is one of the nicest and funniest people and most genuine people I have ever met. He is, he's French Canadian, obviously. Just lives life, very philosophical in his ways. I mean, he's a typical goalie. Everybody loves Bernie, especially down in Philadelphia. But just goalies are just, I would say they're in a different class, a different breed. They're just totally. They're the most charismatic, characters out on the ice. And point well taken. I know we're going off a little tangent there, but you're absolutely right. I think Rolly, the goalie coach, has recognized Corey Schneider and Keith Kincaid and has turned them into a formidable 1A, 1B, quality goaltending for the New Jersey Devils. I think that's a big part of why they're 14-5-4. And when they're not on their game, those kids, look in the camera here, those kids know how to win.
Yes, they do. Good? They know how to come back.
Yes, they do.
And I was going to say this earlier when we were mentioning playoffs and stuff like that. If they keep going this way, I can see lots of late nights, multiple overtimes.
Oh, yeah.
Long 6 or 7 game series. It's going to be a stressful. Should we make the playoffs and should we advance pretty far? It may be a stressful playoff season to get all those, hopefully 16 wins. But the way that they're playing, late nights, 2-3 overtimes.
Let me tell you something. When I sat at the Ledge last Friday, at the restaurant at the Prudential Center, they had some tomahawk steak. So we elected to get the buffet. Actually, it comes with your Ledge ticket, the upgrade, right? Okay. I mean, by the way, I will respond to that survey. They kept on sending me emails. How'd you like your upgrade? Can you tell us how it is? Well, I will respond to the survey, but I will give you my review here. I'm not endorsed by the New Jersey Devils or the Prudential Center. This is my honest review. But if the Devils are down 5-0 this season, all I have to do is put on my Devils rally cap, go back. If I'm sitting on the ledge, I'll go back, have a couple of tomahawk steaks because it's unlimited, have some more drinks. It's unlimited unless you're buying alcohol. If you're 21 or older, they will ID you. If you're even 50 years old, which I think is amazing, makes all those people think like they're young.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know the Devils have a chance of coming back as I'm eating that tomahawk steak when they're down 5-0. Last year, I would have just had that tomahawk steak, and it just would have tasted disgusting. This year, the food's better, for real. Actually, the food is better, and I'm guaranteeing the food is a lot better than last year. I'd heard they got a new chef. A source told me that the last game that I was at, first name Hugh, last name Weber, that's who told me that. I just gave away my source, but they have a new chef, and you know what? The point I'm trying to make here is I will stay for the whole game because I know it's not an automatic loss like it has been the last couple seasons. It's been brutal. But this team gives me hope that they can come back, even though if they're down 4-1, 5-0, they look terrible because they have this ability to turn it on when they want to, right?
I know, and that's really, I'm sure, got to be scary for other teams that no lead against us seeming to be safe. But again, like we really shouldn't have to be in this where, why not just turn it on and play through the whole game? It's kind of like in American football when a team gets down to the last, to the 2-minute warning, and all of a sudden now they're going to put pressure on to try to get that touchdown. It's like it's the same deal. It's like, why do we have to wait until we're down to start playing?
I know.
Some games, not all games, not all games. But I agree with you. It's not like last season. Last season, we were down 4-1. That was it. Turn off the TV or, go to the buffet, just gorge yourself because it's the only good thing left in the night. But now there's always that chance that they can come back, and they're proving that not only is there that chance, but they can do it.
Oh, I know.
They can do it well.
I know.
Too.
And they played so well. They played so well against the Vancouver Canucks, and the refs have been terrible the last two games. Am I being biased? I just they're missing a lot. And I know the game is fast, and they're trying. And I don't think refs are biased. I used to think like that. I used to have conspiracy theories. I used to think like, he probably did something years ago or whatever. But I don't know. The refs, I thought they were terrible last night. But this team still finds still finds a way to win, right? So that's all that matters.
All that matters to find ways to win.
Yeah.
They just gotta change a couple things, and then they'll be, I don't want to say unstoppable, but they'll be really good. Yeah.
So the Devils come back home tomorrow against the Florida Panthers. The big bad Florida Panthers, right? They better be careful about this team. I mean,
Could be a trap game.
It's a trap game. The Florida Panthers were on the up and ups, but only to have ownership screwed up again. Like that's the Florida Panthers, mantra, right? But then they go out on the road for 3 games. Colorado on Friday, Arizona on Saturday, back-to-back. You got to pencil that one in. Arizona Coyotes. How about Scott Wedgwood, right? Yeah. I think both are.
That's more of the trap game than Florida, I think.
Yeah.
Actually, looking at this whole trip, Florida, Colorado, and Arizona, that can go either, it could be it could be a trap road trip.
Yeah.
Those 2 games. And then, man, it could be a trap week. They have to play well, and they have to play better than their opponents. They can't play down to their opponents. That's for sure.
Now, I promise I wouldn't do this.
Their first win.
Now, I promise I wouldn't do this, but I had to look ahead in the future. I know we're supposed to, week to week, but Here next week, and we'll divulge this going more in depth next week. Now, next weekend, let me tell you about next weekend. I got a wedding Saturday, right? And then I'm supposed to do something with the Sunday brunch the next day on December 3rd, right?
Yeah.
I have tickets to the Metropolitan Riveters WNHL at the Rock. Barnabas is going to try to get Beer Baron to come with me because maybe bring his daughter. I got a couple of people. I have season tickets for the Riveters, and I don't know anything about them other than I like the logo. I like some of the stories I read. But looking ahead in the future, and then we got our podcast, so it's jam-packed for me.
Yeah.
But you got the BJs, the Columbus Blue Jackets, Tuesday, December 5th, and home, and Friday, December 8th in a Metropolitan Division showdown. And then, and Shorts Guy, I may have to ask you and Beer Baron, do you want to go to the game at MSG December 9th against the New York Rangers?
Yeah.
You want to do it?
Sam. That could be.
Do you want to go? You want to go on that mission?
That could be a lot of trouble, Sam.
I know. Now the Rangers are kind of getting out of the cellar right now. It's Christmas time. Oh, you know what? I just deleted it off my board. Let's. Yeah, well, we could do that after the Devils win at MSG. The Titanic music, right? But yeah, I mean that circle that week. I know I'm skipping ahead. I don't want to jinx ourselves, but I'm going to be living life that week. And let me tell you something, Shorts Guy. And it's time to go to the piggy bank. Yeah. If the Devils beat Columbus both games, now, of course, they have the second part of that back-to-back. They got Columbus on Friday and the Rangers on Saturday. We got to go. We got to go.
I know.
It's been years, but we got to go. We used to invade the Garden. Did you ever go on our Garden invasions years ago?
I never went with you guys, but I did go with a friend of mine. Used to have season tickets for the Rangers, and I used to go with him because he had I think he had 2 seats, so I would always go with him when the Devils would play the Rangers. It was always fun because that was when we were just dominating the Rangers.
Yes,
year in, year out. So it was always a good time. But yeah, it's been a long time since I've gone to a game there.
Well, Devils Army blog people, let's go Devils. Group people down below, comment below. Have you ever been to MSG for Devils Rangers? And tell me your fun moments. We'll read the comments out loud next week. I don't know, but we're running out of time here. But just comment below. I want to hear the stories. Devils Rangers on the road at MSG, or even Devils Flyers at the Wells Fargo First Union.
That's one place I haven't.
Really?
I have not been down to Philly away for a Devils game.
How about January 20th? You want to go? Are you doing anything January 20th at a 1 p.m. start down in Philly? I'm really looking in the future right now. It's like
you're looking way too far. I'm lucky I can get through this week before I start thinking about next. Technically, that's next year.
Okay. Yeah. Let's not think about next year. How about predictions? We got 3 games on the docket. November 27th at home against the Florida Panthers. On the road at the Colorado Avalanche, and back-to-back, second half of the back-to-back, December 2nd against the Arizona Coyotes. Wonder if Scott Wedgwood would be in net, but what are you thinking?
All right, I'm gonna say 3-0. I'm gonna say
you're saying 3-0.
I'm saying 3-0.
I'm gonna go 2-1.
Okay.
I'm going 2-1 because I think that Arizona game is going to be a trap game, and that's where it's going to bite them. I just have this gut feeling, and you know how positive I am because last week I predicted 4-0.
Yeah,
4-0, and it almost happened. Actually, all of our predictions happened. Now, if the Devils go 2-1, if Devils go 2-1 next week, I could assure you I'll be on the podcast. Unlike Beer Baron that thinks, oh, I predicted it right, and I won't be on the podcast because I could take a day off. Nah, just kidding. That didn't happen.
Let's not.
Just let's not antagonize Beer Baron because he's probably watching right now on his phone like, you guys stink. I'm going to have my own podcast. Right. It's going to be Let's Go Beer Baron podcast. But those are our predictions, and I better start cueing in the closing music, right?
Yeah. Usually we just get when we hear the music.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a professional here, but trying to be. We're like wannabe professionals, right? Yeah. But this is one of the few Devils podcasts around, so you got. This is all you got, folks. This is all you got. Well, no, there's several. They're pretty.
We're
good.
e-bugs. We're pretty much e-bugs of the podcast world.
Yeah, we're e-bugs. You know what? We should. Not many people know that you're also kind of like t-shirt guy, shorts guy.
Yeah.
You make t-shirts. I think you need to just make a t-shirt for our listeners. Just says e-bug.
It can be done. It's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can make an e-bug shirt.
Yeah. Why don't you make one for next week? Can you do that?
I'll give it a shot. I'll see what time I got this week.
What was your prediction again?
I said 3-0. Right?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I'm gonna write it down on my board here. I said 3-0, and you said 2-1.
Yeah. Well, just so the viewers and listeners know, we actually had to go back to the old podcast last week to review it, and then I had to replay it a couple times just to make sure that I got it. Wait, who said 3-0-1? Oh no, I said 3-1. Yeah. That was you, right? And
I said 3-1. Beer Baron said 3-0-1. So all right, it's written down on my board here. I said 3-0. Okay. You said 2-1.
Okay. Well, this is the Let's Go Devils podcast, episode 7. That draws a conclusion. You know what? It was a good podcast. It flew right by.
It was. They always
flew right by. Yeah. So anyway, I just want to thank all the viewers at Devils Army blog, and don't forget the Let's Go Devils group. We got a big week coming up. Till next time, let's go Devils.